Alright guys, last video on fossa, the infratemporal fossa. So if we had that little drawing, it'd be that circle connecting to the pterygopalatine fossa, and then the temporal fossa is above it. I forgot to draw it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let's go over the borders first, and then we'll talk about what's inside of it. So the borders, the roof, or the part that we can see right here, because we're looking up, we're looking like from inferior to superior. We're looking here, so this is the roof. It's the sphenoid and the temporal bone. The floor, right? We're able to look through because there is no structures there, so there's nothing there. The lateral wall, so we're coming from the lateral, is going to be the ramus and the coronoid process. It's not in the image, but it's obviously there. Medial wall, coming from the other side, is going to be the lateral pterygoid plate, superior constrictor muscle, and palatine bone. And then for the anterior wall, this guy up here, it's the maxilla. And the posterior wall is the temporal bone. So those are the borders. So now we kind of have what's around the outside. Let's go through it. So here we have the pterygomaxillary fissure. It's called the doorway that I've mentioned a few times. It's what connects us into the pterygopalatine fossa. So important part, the neat thing is that all the stuff that runs through that fissure is the same. It's the PSA artery, nerve, and vein, the third maxillary artery, and then branches of the pterygoid plexus. The other one that's the same is this inferior orbital fissure. We have that guy again. And so it goes through the zygomatic nerve, the inferior orbital artery, nerve, and vein, the inferior ophthalmic vein, the ascending branches of the pterygopalatine nerve. Excuse me, it's not of the ganglion. Sorry. Okay, so now the new stuff. We have foraminal valley. We already know that V3 goes through foraminal valley, but there's this little mnemonic, and it actually spells out O valley is the otic ganglion for the O, the V3 for the V, accessory meningeal artery for the A, the lesser petrosal for the L, and then the emissary for the V. So that's foraminal valley. Foramen spinosum is really meningeal, so middle meningeal artery, middle meningeal vein, and the meningeal nerve. Okay, so let's hop over. We're going to do the mandibular fossa, or the glenoid fossa. It just has the TMJ in it, so really that's all you need to know. The petrotympanic fissure is behind the mandibular fossa, and it has the chordotympany nerve and the anterior tympanic artery within it. Stylomastoid foramen, this is back here. It's going to be cranial nerve 7, and then the stylomastoid artery from the postauricular. I doubt we'll see one about the stylomastoid foramen, just because in some literature, Dr. Novak mentioned that it's not considered to be part of the infratemporal fossa. So I guess it just depends on what you read, but I doubt we'll see a question from that. And then the last thing that was on the slides that I felt that was necessary is that hematomas are drained through the pterygoid plexus. So it's just through that pterygomaxillary fissure. We have branches of the pterygoid plexus in there. But this is the infratemporal fossa. So we've done pterygopalatine fossa. We've done the temporal, and now the infratemporal. So now that's pretty much all the fossa you need to know.